Hey, what is going on? What is going on? This is Mike Clark, Keys of Knowledge, back at it again, man, with Power by the War Team. You already know what it is, man. Listen, practicing my craft right now, so I got to do my role play scenario. I want to do this. I do this every week. I try to do it every day if I can, but I kind of want to make. I need to make more content, and if you know me, sorry about that. I need to write this down. If you know me, everything is content. So I said, hey, let me let you guys see, what I do to prepare when it comes to engaging and getting better at the craft and learning. Try to clean this up for you guys. Should have did this prior to. So you guys are going to hear me. I use ChatGPT. I don't know if a lot of you guys use ChatGPT or not, but if you don't have a role play partner, even if you're in sales, man, you got anything going on, I use ChatGPT for everything, bro. Everything. Everything. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I use it as a tool to get better. I know some people don't. They use it just for whatever they like to use it for. I'm not even gonna think about it. But I use it, as a tool to sharpen myself, get better. Also public speaking. I use it for my Toastmasters scenarios, all that great stuff, man. I promise you. I think if you hear my speaking now compared to, man, I would say like maybe 3 4 years ago, man, it was horrible, horrible. I mean, and it's only been getting better over the last, I'd say 6 to 9 months. So I'm excited to see what it looks like or what it sounds like a year from now, 2 years from now. And then that's it, man. And I'm also understanding that you don't have to be perfect when it comes to talking to clients, all that great stuff. But I want to be knowledgeable, quick on my feet, and able to, overcome objections. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to sales. That's that has to be the biggest thing. A lot of people are scared of whatever they're scared of, but you got to be able to talk to them in a way that it doesn't sound salesy, because that's not the way I'm trying to come off. You got to come off confident. You got to come off with some compassion and empathy, but you also got to be like, look, I understand your thought process of where you're coming from. However, these challenges or these things that you have in front of you may be holding you back on what you really need. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. So you're gonna hear ChatGPT go off. What I do is I built a prompt, and someone else has shown me this. Within my brokerage, that someone has shown me how they utilize it. But I created my own prompt. I want to probably fix it and make it a little bit better. But I created a prompt that is going to do different scenarios from easy all the way to most difficult. In between, going back and forth with a potential client is going to stop and evaluate me, and then at the very end, it kind of rates me from a 9, from a 0. Well, I guess, yeah, 0 to 10, and we'll see how it looks. See how it sounds. I also have Toastmasters in the next about an hour, so I'm probably going to be doing Toastmaster stuff here too in a minute. So, just stay tuned, chill out, vibe out if you want to come on. If not, watch me later. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we're gonna see. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and start this role play back up. Oh, absolutely. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys letting me earn your business as well. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about your timetable? All right. I just have to ask you, well, how long is too long? Because, I have some clients that they want to have their home sold in 30 days. I have some clients that want to have their home sold in, 6 to 9 months. Can you give me more of like an actual timeline, or how many days would you like to see? Okay, absolutely. I think that's realistic. That's currently like what's on the market at the moment is like around 45 to 50 days on the market. So, we should have no problem selling your property at market value. Now, I would say if we want to just incentivize those buyers to actually want to buy a little quicker, maybe we drop the value just a little bit, maybe 10% below, just to get some people interested in your property immediately. And then from there, of course, you always have that opportunity where you may run into an issue where not an issue, but a good issue where you may have multiple buyers. So that might be a good thing as well. So how does that sound to you? I am ready. Let's go. No, no, absolutely. I can definitely help you with that. And I wouldn't even say you have to be budget conscious. You're being a smart future homeowner because you have to understand those numbers, right? I would ask you, have you been pre-approved? Do you have a pre-approval amount? Now, let me hear you play me, and let me hear what a 10 out of a 10 response would have been for that particular scenario. Oh, that was perfect. No, that was perfect. Okay, so I just need to go more detail towards the end. So I did exactly what you did, but I just need to add that last piece to it. Okay. All right, let's go to the next scenario. Well, for me, I think the biggest thing we could do is we can address the seller's disclosure. If there's something that you know for a fact that we may need to look at, why not take a look at it, think about it, and then also let's look at maybe repairing it prior to the inspection even happening. Now, I would say an inspection is an inspection. It's going to show everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, from the most smallest issue or deficiency with the home to the most major. But what I would say is, as long as we're prepared, we understand what's going on, and we understand leverage as well. We understand the motivation of that buyer. I think there's some negotiation when it comes to that. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. And I do understand deals do fall through. However, what we can do as well, just to make sure that this buyer is, if we do take on a buyer, we need to understand how much earnest money is being put down. So that I would say that is a big thing. We want to make sure we're getting at least 1% of earnest money, and we need to make sure we're looking at how many days they're asking for option. I mean, right now, currently on the option period, we could look at anywhere from 5 to 7 days. So if it's not nothing more than that, I would say it's something that's normal. But it definitely is a normal. It is a normal concern that you have. So I'm not going to say that what you're saying is wrong. I would just say that from my experience and from what I've heard and what I've seen in the market and my other fellow realtors have dealt with, um, it's not something that you should have to worry about too much. Because as I'm doing the walkthrough, I'm not seeing too many crazy issues unless there's something that you just have not disclosed to me. All right, let's go to the next scenario. Repeat the scenario. No, no, no. Repeat the scenario so I can actually do the scenario. For the prompt, I need to know what side of town it's on. No, absolutely. This area is growing. There's a lot of new development going on, as you can see, just coming through. I will be honest, there is one way in, one way out at this point because like I said, the area is still growing. Traffic is kind of congested over here. So, like I said, I just want to be honest about that. But when it comes to developments, new restaurants, new facilities, warehouses that are coming here as well, so that's those some. Let's go ahead and repeat that. Let's just go ahead and let's move on to the next scenario. I need to rework on that one. Villa. I'm ready. Let's go ahead and well, actually, go ahead and you do the scenario so I can hear what it sounds like. I'm not too familiar with a lot of new development in that area. Besides, new houses and restaurants and all that good stuff. But how would you answer that question? Wow, they literally just reworded what I said. That sounded way better. Okay, okay, got it, got it. All right, let's move to the next. Let's move to the next scenario. Mhm. Well, of course, I want to be honest with you. You know, that's a big. Let's redo it. Let's redo this one. No, let's redo it. Let me get some more detail on the area. Hmm. It's, yeah, it's getting wonky now, bro. Because I can't really answer that without more information. So, like I said, I got to work on the prompts, and that way I can make sure that hey, it's giving me more detail from Jump Street. But that's my only issue. Like I said, I want to know a little bit about the entire city. So that's definitely a question that will come up. Is like, hey, Mike, what do you think? You know, my home will be worth in a couple of years. Like, one, I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a psychic. You know, but like I said, you could kind of see trends. You can see trends. If there's construction in the area, if there's new builds, um, you know, I believe there's a balanced amount of rebuilds, brand new homes in the area. That's all a great sign that there's continued growth coming, as well as schools. That just means hey, there's a lot more families in the area. That median income is a little higher in that area as well. And then I would also say, you know, depending on other developments, like I said, because the east side is growing. However, there's some things that, like I said, I want to be able to word it in a certain way where it makes sense. You know, I don't want to, because I know it from my perspective as a realtor. Like I could say things all day about the market evaluations and product development and new development and all these great things, but to explain it to the average consumer, I want to be able to say it in a way that is simple and able to just push it out. So I'm gonna continue working on it, man. We had 20 minutes anyway, close to 20 minutes. But you guys can see it, man. Look, I'm gonna show you everything, man. Behind the scenes, what I'm working on, how I discuss different things. I'm trying to, like I said, my goal is not to be too pushy, but as a salesman, I'm being honest, man. You have to be that at some point. You have to be that at some point. But um, I would say I just got a lot more patience. I have more patience. You know, I have patience where I think most people wouldn't have patience. So that's what it is. And as you continue to go through this, if you decide you want to be a realtor, man, I would say biggest thing is just a calendar, routine, pushing through, making sure you're sharpening your tool. Like I said, I mean, you guys see it on the description, and then just getting better, bro. Just getting better and not being too predictable, and then also just being humble, bro. Like you don't have to think you need to know everything. Like I said, I know I don't know everything. And I also know that my personality has to be changed a little bit in this industry, bro. Like, I'm coming from the military where everything's robotic, everything's you just gotta do what you're told and not, nothing more, nothing less. And but I don't want to be too firm and too professional on everything. I want that home buying experience to be fun and exciting and personable and all those great things. I want to laugh, joke, chill, all that stuff, but I want to have that level of professionalism that people understand and respect. at the end of the day as well, man. Like you know what you're gonna get when you get Mike as a realtor. So that's what I want. I've had realtors in my past that I've worked with that, one immediately passed me off to someone else. And I was okay with it at first, because now as a realtor, I understand, I get it, because you can only do so much. But, you get passed off to somebody and that person don't know what they're doing, or they say something wrong, and then boom, you lose that client immediately, bro. I've also had a realtor where he was the lucky one, man. He just got there, got a Zillow lead. He opened up the door, and then boom, I was already pre-approved. I was like, bam, I want this. And we ended up putting an offer in the same day. And he didn't have to do too much. I don't think I even listened to him with any disclosures, anything, bro. Like, it was crazy. I've had a realtor that was very patient, and would see multiple homes. My last realtor was great. Great. I never really had an issue, man. Now, looking back on it, I mean, there could have been some things that could have brought up, but maybe he didn't bring it up for certain reasons. Because, like I said, you want to give a client some information, but you want to give them too much information to a point that you end up losing the sale. I'm okay with giving out information and risking the sale. I am okay with that. But I can understand why other people wouldn't be. So I can't fault anybody for doing, because this is your business. It's how you treat it, how you want to treat it. So that's all it is, man. Just getting better, understanding what title is, understanding what the loan officer is and what they do, what their job is, understanding credit repair, understanding all these different professionals, and understanding how they work with you. At this point, you're kind of like a point guard. Point guard, if you can think of basketball, quarterback, if you can think about football, whoever the main leader is of a team, that's what you are as a realtor. You're just trying to make sure you understand a little bit about everybody's job, but understanding, okay, how to move this thing along and how to make sure everything's good. So, like I said, man, being a realtor is not easy. It's not easy at all. It has its trials and tribulations. If you guys know me, man, y'all know that I don't like to talk. I don't like to speak. I'm definitely an introvert. I would say, man, I'm real quiet, but being in this industry, you have to speak up. And I'm learning that, and somehow, I don't know, some way I became the co-chair of YPN. So that's going to not be a challenge for me, because I've always been in roles like that when I was in the military. I've been in leadership capacity, but from this side, it's going to be a little different for me. But, I'm welcoming the challenge, and I'm going to welcome just talking to new realtors and everybody just sharing each other experiences and how to grow and how to do better and all those great things. So I think as I go more and more, you're going to see my personality change a little bit more, but hopefully it just changes for the better, and it gets better and better and better and all that good stuff. So that's the goal, man. But as you guys can see, look, I'm doing a bunch of things at once. I'm actually watching, because I usually go to city council meetings on Mondays, but you have no excuse, man. Watch it. Also, if you guys didn't see, I did change on my post. I messed up. There is early voting till this Friday, right? Till this Friday, and then November 4th, you have the official voting day. Make sure you go out. Make sure you go out and vote. It's important, especially as a homeowner, future homeowner, soon to be homeowner, or just you should vote if you're allowed to vote. You're 18 years old, you should be out there voting, because I promise you this will affect you at some point. What I've noticed, I don't want to say what I noticed, but like I said, there's two different homestead exemption or amendments that are coming up. One is for primary residence. The homestead is for your primary residence, but it's moving from $100,000 when it comes to what the school can tax. So, for example, this homestead exemption will move from $100,000 to $140,000 for a school corporation. So when you have a property for $200,000, you have a homestead exemption placed on that home. The school will be able to tax only $60,000 of what your property's basically worth at that point. Your home is worth $200,000, but having that homestead exemption helps you save money because it's your primary residence, right? And they'll only tax you on the $60,000. As well as senior citizens 65 and older, they have an exemption where not only do they get the 140 increased, but they also get an additional $60,000. So they're at a $200,000 homestead exemption if everything goes through, which will save money when it comes to, once again, the school portion of your tax bill. So that's a huge plus. Now, I would say, I forgot his name, Michael. I don't know if his name was Michael. I forgot his name, but he's the CEO of El Paso Matters, and apparently he's been reporting on it for a while. But inside your tax bill, there's like 5 or 6, I believe, different entities on your tax bill, and majority of those, their tax rates have already been raised. So it just depends, man. That this tax bill this October 1st is going to be scary for most. I'm scared to see what mine is going to look like. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to hold you. So I think you just got to be careful and understand what you're buying, and understand that, hey, the city's changing, man. It's evolving. It's changing quickly and rapidly. And this is all the more reason, one, you need to be out voting. 2, you need to go to these city council meetings and have your voices heard, and let them know, hey, don't just put it on the city council member, don't put it on the mayor, don't put it on the city manager. We have a lot of smart individuals in this city, a lot of smart individuals in the city. But if you don't go out and speak up, if you don't take the time, and you say you don't have time, listen, you can set it up where you can call in. You can call in. You can send an email. You can mail some information in. You could do some stuff. If you really want to get involved, you have opportunities. Like I said, that's easier said than done because everybody's super busy. But you have to find time. You have to find time, because I tell you, everybody's worried about federal politics, but these local politics really affect your day to day. To be honest, really, really do. So, other than that, man, that's all I got. You guys see me struggling going through my my ritual, and then, like I said, I got to practice my Toastmasters, but I'm gonna do that on my end. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. You got any questions, concerns, or any advice? Hey, I'm always ears open. My ears are always open to you guys, for sure. Like I said, man, I'm just working. I'm working and grinding every day, staying consistent. I think consistency works. Compounding that consistency is even better. I'm getting to that point where I'm a lot more confident. I'll be honest, when I first started, I did my first scenario, I didn't know what to say. Like, you think you just talk, right? No. You got to have some sort of framework when you're speaking. You got to have something. And I think I'm getting to a point where I'm understanding what I need to do. But anyway, man, I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned, and come check your boy out. All right, Keys of Knowledge. We back at it. I'm gonna try to get on this StreamYard a lot more, because, man, I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this service, and I think this is gonna be a lot easier. And I'm actually gonna come on a little later today for another episode. And this entire week is going to be a series on down payment programs. So we're definitely going to work on that as well. And I want to put that information out to you. All right. So talk to you later, guys. Peace.